Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel again. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Liz and I'm a part-time reseller in Maryland. In today's video, I get to share with you every picker's dream, the private pick. I was the only one there and I can't wait to show you what I found. Okay, so here are some highlights from two of the house calls that I made to a friend and a neighbor. They are kind of breaking up an estate so that someone can move into a smaller space. So we were able to help each other out. Now, I don't know all of the values of these things. And as I always tell you, I often don't know in the moment either. And so, we just come up with a price together that works for us. And then, it's kind of like a gamble for me. And hopefully I know enough to make myself some money to pay myself for my time. So we're going to start over here on the left. This is just a piece of studio pottery, and I haven't looked up this artist yet. I can't actually read it yet, but I always pick up studio pottery, and I know that the Crazy Lamp Lady and Lavender Clothesline also like studio pottery. This one's unusual. I don't always go for the brown ones. I know Laura Caldwell loves them. They don't actually sell that great for me, but I feel like with this sort of seafoam green accent that this will sell well regardless of the artist. And by sell well, I guess locally maybe $25, online probably at least twice that, I would guess. Now this cat looks really familiar to me, but I haven't actually found this exact one. And I honestly can't tell, is it like something you would bring back from like another country? Is it like vintage Pier 1? I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me out. I didn't see, sorry about that, a signature or anything. It seems like it has some wear/damage, but he's got a cool look. So I'm hoping I'll be able to identify him so I can price him accordingly, but I couldn't resist him. Now, I may have to save this mirror for last. I don't want to bump anything. You can see it's a tri-fold mirror. I think I might be able to show you. It's brass and it's a travel mirror. Let me move these so you can at least see one side. And when you fold it, it has these beautiful Art Nouveau images. So this is probably from 1910-ish is my guess. It could be a little bit earlier, it could be a little bit later. It's beautiful and it folds up like a little book. Oh, I knocked over this little guy. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And I'll put up a comp for that. I was able to find that. In the moment, I just knew that I wanted that. I hadn't seen it before and I love vintage vanity items. So I knew I wanted it. I didn't really know how valuable it was. I just knew it probably had some value. And the woman I bought this from, she said this was a toy that she had been given, I believe, maybe for like a birthday. I haven't looked this one up either. I think I'll be able to find him and show you a comp of at least something similar. And he's really cute. I gotta test him out too. I needed to process this stuff so I could make space in my car again. These, I guess they're like paper or cardboard German eggs, do quite well, especially this time of year. So I'll have to scurry right along and list this. This is a rather large one. And on the inside, it does say made in Germany. I don't really know the history of those. I imagine they were probably given as gifts. Maybe they were filled with something. But that's completely speculation. Now, this one woman, I think she's about 97 or 98. She still lived by herself. She was spry and completely with it. And she had these sterling pieces that she'd inherited. And I bought these. I could not resist this dish. This is by, I believe this is by Kirk. I don't have my loop here. Yes, S. Kirk, which... that's a local, I believe that's a Baltimore company, but it's this repoussé, right? That 3D floral motif. I may have to keep that, on my nightstand or something for my earrings. It's just so gorgeous. I will probably resell this beautiful brush and hand mirror set. They're in such good condition. They were not over polished. Again, we've got this floral motif. Very similar. I don't think it matches that bowl, but it is sure similar. Although it has a blend of different types of flowers. So those will sell really well, and I'll put up a comp or something similar for you on that. This is a match safe. Let's see if I can open it up with one hand. I did not find a sterling mark, but I'm almost positive it is, and if I shift it slightly, you can see the little ding in it, that little dent. And that's usually a sign that something is a precious metal. Not always. It feels and looks like it, you know? What is that thing that they say about ducks? If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. But anyway, I think this is strong. And people collect these. So that little tiny ding, I don't think that's actually a very big deal. I think that's a really nice piece. Now, this is another example of something I actually wasn't sure what I was looking at. Now, of course, my brain said like slippers, and I thought maybe they were for a baby because they're so small. But these are definitely antique, Asian, Chinese slippers from when they used to bind women's feet, which was made illegal in the early 1900s. And they would do that to make women have tiny feet. But these are still amazing collectible pieces. I had no idea what they were and certainly no idea of their value, but you should keep an eye out for those. And remember what Mike Wolf says, if you've never seen it before, you have to buy it. And I followed that in this case, and I feel like that's gonna pan out. Now this is just a highlight from what I bought this weekend. I bought, I don't know, 4 or 5 boxes of things and some artwork, but I wanted to have teachable moments for you so that you would know what to look for. And you would know the value too, so you would know what to pay. The artwork is always a little tricky and there are a lot of nuances to it. And so I wanted to stick with things that were a little bit easier, except for this artwork. I bought this for myself and I just had to show you because it is on board. It is so darling. These chickens, oh my gosh. I have a chicken painting at my house by a famous New Zealand artist. And I want to say his last name is Greathead. I'll put up a comp for him or his name on the screen. I think it's Alston. I can't remember. I'm going to embarrass myself. But this reminded me of his work that I have. Maybe I'll insert a photo of the piece that I have that we all love here. This is just for me, but this certainly could sell online or in the booth. I'm not really sure what it would sell for because I'm not planning on selling it, so I didn't comp it out. But I wouldn't want to sell it for less than $40 or $50 and maybe even more. I do not know if it's signed. It might be signed down here. I'm going to have to use some magnification for that. I did buy a lot of record albums from one of the households I visited. And again, I go by names that sell in my booth or names I recognize or things that were cool when I was young. And I don't often see a lot of Frank Zappa albums, and I don't think I'd ever seen this one, so I picked it up. I'll throw up a comp for you. If you're able to, use Google Lens when you're at a sale, unless the records are $1 each, then I say just go for it. But and look them up because they're not often $1 a piece, and you'll want to know, hey, should I pay $20 for this record album? Now, I didn't pay $20 for this one because I just bought a group, but in this case, that would have been a great deal. So keep an eye on record albums. Now I'm going to have to put up the name of what this is. And my friend Britta told me what it was called. And I think it's a case for people to take communion to people who can't go to actual church. I think that's what she told me. Now there are stamps in it now. And the provenance behind it was that someone in her family had worked for a summer maybe with a very wealthy family. And the little girl in the family gave this to, I guess, either the nanny or the babysitter as a gift, maybe at the end of the summer. I can't tell where this real story ends and where my imagination begins with that. Now, this reminds me of those Martin Brothers grotesque birds, but in the moment, my brain just kind of like hones in on things that somehow I recognize. So I feel like it's important to leaf through some antiques journals or books, even if you just go sit at the bookstore and leaf through. Certainly you can do it on Instagram and everything too. But you know what? We're all online so much. Maybe just go to a bookstore and look at antique books so you can train your mind, train your eye, that is, to see things. Now, I don't think this is signed, and I think someone was using it as a bank. I don't know what the coin is inside, but I'm pretty sure there's a coin in there. So I'm still looking him up, but I do think he has some decent value as a piece of studio pottery, regardless of whether I find out who it's by. So speaking of studio pottery, I had once bought what looked like some kind of novelty vase from, I don't know, like Hallmark, and it was in the shape of a paper bag. It's actually called the paper bag vase. and it sold for a ton of money online. I'll put up a picture of what that looks like. And so I saw this, my brain was like, I should buy that, but I didn't know what it was. I've never seen it before. Now this seems to have some paint speckles or something on it, which I actually think makes it seem more like a glove, and maybe that's actually part of the design. But I'll put up a comp for this particular artist. I believe the name is Michael Harvey, but again, the comp will tell you, well worth it, well worth taking the chance, and when I had no idea. Let me back up a tiny bit. So this vase caught my eye, and I was thinking Italy. And then when I was packing up, I was thinking, oh, I think it's Potosi. I never thought that this is definitely by a famous artist from Italy. And this is the Harlequin vase. So I didn't really know what I was getting, but look at the colors in this, like, I mean, I call it a diamond pattern, but I think Harlequin sounds cool. So that was really an amazing find. And this was up in an attic with a layer of dust on it. And the woman said she had asked for it for like her 16th birthday. I want to say like in the 1960s. And I might be wrong on the exact birthday, but she said that's the type of thing I wanted when I was a teenager. And I was like, that is cool as heck. This woman was amazing. So, so cool. I was so glad to meet her. And I've never seen a vase like this. This is, the sticker on the bottom says BOLOS, and they're known for their glass, but I'm quite certain this is ceramic. And I thought it was Hager maybe at first, but it's very thin. It's more like a porcelain. So I'm not really sure yet about, I haven't found this exact vase. Not a ton of value, but some value. And actually, I love this. I think it will sell on Facebook. I think it would sell on Etsy. I think it will sell in the booth. It's that perfect combination of like mid-century modern, sort of a little bit postmodern almost. And literally, if you saw a vase like this at Target now, you'd be like, oh, that's so current. So I love the timelessness of that piece. This one estate, they had notes and everything. Like I wore these buttons on a dress, and everything. And this box is gorgeous. Let me show you the box first. Sorry. I was skipping ahead to the note. The lid sticks quite a bit. It is beautifully carved and in wonderful condition. And it says that it was from Russia, and it was made for Pioneer Belt and Suspender Company of Philadelphia. And it was supposed to hold your belts. I guess you rolled them up, or your suspenders. In the store, maybe? I'm not 100% sure, but apparently this family member worked there, and that's how she got one of these, and I kind of loved it. So it may have to live here for a while with me. I don't know if I'm ready to let it go, and I'm not sure what the comp is. If I find one, I'll show you though. And the last piece I'm going to highlight today from these two estates is this. Now, samplers, people think that samplers were works of art. They are works of art to us now. They're more like handwriting practice. Well, back in my day, I don't even know if they do handwriting practice based on what I've seen occasionally. But you know how like you have to, when you're a small kid, you have to practice staying between the lines, and the dotted line was for the lowercase letters. Am I remembering this right? Leave me a comment. So this woman, who's 97 or so, said that this was her ancestor, 1851, and this ancestor was 14, and you would do this in school to practice your sewing, your stitching, I guess, maybe is a better word. And so we have the provenance, we've got this name and we've got the date, and I know the woman who's related to her. And I told her, I said, you should keep it. I think you should keep it. And she said, no, I don't want it. And I said, I'd be happy to buy it from you then. These are extremely collectible. You can get these cleaned and restored. People collect these, and it's so awesome because the provenance is right in the piece, which is so amazing. I love that. You get some other piece of pottery or some other type of art, and if it isn't signed, you don't know, but this one we know for sure. So again, I just wanted to show you a few things that I thought you could keep an eye out for, things that you might pass up or might not realize the value and might not know what to pay. And so I definitely appreciate you guys coming. I hope you get out there and find some great finds. Pay yourself well for that time you spent out there. And I always hope that you never stop searching. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks again for tuning in today, guys. Could you do me a quick favor? Would you mind clicking that like button, sharing this video, making a quick comment, or even if you're really ambitious, clicking the subscribe button. I really benefit from your encouragement and support, and I don't want you to miss out on future content like this. Thanks so much, and I will see you guys next time.